I planned civil disobedience movement. We must disobey their orders. And I was put in jail without any release. Many people were released from time to time. I was there, actually, nearly 20 years. As soon as I was released, I will show my anger by wearing color of the prison. I always wear, you see, my blue shirts. At least I'm using always, because it's just to show to them that I'm angry, still angry, these men. I don't claim to be a good man, but I'm an intellectual and I'm a writer and I'm a journalist. I want to be reasonable and so on. But they have no reasonable idea, you see, or any of their sorrow expressed. Nothing at all. They are living in like a palace. They are ministers and rich men and so on and so on.
Journalist, schrijver en medeoprichter van de National League for Democracy, U Win Tin, is zonder twijfel een van de belangrijkste symbolen van de democratiseringsbeweging in Myanmar, of Birma, zoals het nog vaak wordt genoemd. Hij was getuige van een halve eeuw militaire onderdrukking, waarvan hij bijna 20 jaar vastzat als politieke gevangene. Keeping your sanity is crucial, you said, in prison.
Well, you see, of course, I was never sorry about all my things, you see. I stand for the people and I stand for the cause and stand for democracy and so on. And I'm an innocent person. And of course I was oppressed and I was, you see, maltreated. That's all, you see. That is on my part. The other thing is, of course, I all know that one day we will win. Our cause will win, and one day I will be released. I will go out and I will write, you see, what happened. In Burmese, we say that the bone will sing. So, from day in, day out, you see, I was working to keep myself fit.
Het bod kan inmiddels vrijuit zingen, want sinds 2012 is er veel veranderd in Myanmar. De Nobelprijs voor de vredewinnares Aung San Suu Kyi werd eindelijk verlost van haar huisarrest en haar partij deed mee aan tussentijdse verkiezingen. Maar in 2008, toen U Win Tin werd vrijgelaten, zag het er helemaal nog niet naar uit dat de militaire junta de teugels zou vieren. Why did they release you in 2008?
At that time I was quite known by the international community and they are giving me some award and so on, see, Golden Pen Award and so on. And my health is not very good. My heart is failing and they think that, you see, it is no good for them to let me die, you see. That's why I was the only leadership status released 2008.
How is your physical and mental condition at this moment?
Well, of course, you see, I'm 84 and physically, of course, I'm not in a very good position. And my health is failing and all my physical powers are failing too, you see. But mentally, you see, I'm very always in touch with the world. A lot of friends are visiting me. And so mentally, I think it's all right. I write articles for the newspapers and so on. If my mental power is failing, I don't think I should write. 7th of November, this one. Almost every week. I was interviewed and I have to talk to the pressmen and so on and so forth. So they write everything about myself and about the party and my newspaper and so on and so forth. So complete. So I will lie down sometime.
See these guys in the ring. Early today they had a big crowd assembled outside of here. You had to go quite a distance to park your car. Alvarez's nickname is Canelo. I came to get my rental car in Los Angeles. One worked the call back to another one.
One of my uncles is a caretaker of the city hall in Rangoon. He got an apartment on the top floor. Our houses at the time were not no more than two stories. You see? At the weekend time, I used to go to my uncle's apartment, and from there, you see, we can look at the dance group performing in the Pandula Square. You see, always I was very happy to go to my uncle's house because I can look there, you see, the dances and so on. Of course, it's quite far away, but anyhow, my uncle got a binocular, so I can see so well. That is I remember. My father is a trader. My mother is a housewife. My father can read and write some English. But what I remember is that my father always asked me to learn, because he himself is not an educated person. He has never passed through the high school, and he has never gone to university and so on. So my father always encouraged me to read and write and memorize everything. See.
In de jaren voor de Tweede Wereldoorlog groeit in Birma het verzet tegen de Britse overheersers. Een nieuwe generatie Birmezen wil onafhankelijkheid.
My father is not politically conscious, but in my family there are a lot of young men, politicians and so on. And say for instance, one of my relative, my uncle, is a member of 30 Comrades.
De 30 Comrades is een groep rondom Aung San, de vader van Aung San Suu Kyi. Aung San zal na de oorlog Birma naar de onafhankelijkheid leiden. Maar aan het begin van de oorlog kiest hij de zijde van de Japanners. De jonge Win Tin krijgt in 1942 met de oorlog te maken als de Japanners dreigen Rangoon in te nemen. Hij vlucht met zijn familie naar het platteland.
Japanese are making propaganda. Rangoon will be bombed. You should go away and so on and so on. So we moved. I was about 10 years old, and we have to go to the train station, and then we have to wait for some time because it's too crowded. Everybody is struggling there. We feel so tired. Of course, we really are wondering where we are going. Once we are in our small town, it's very happy because not like in Rangoon, there's open air and there are big trees, mango and durian and so on. There's no electricity in the small village. Once it is sunset, you see, it's not easy to sit down, you see, in the evening because there are a lot of mosquitoes and so on. So you go inside the mosquito net. My mother told me fables and stories and about the books and so on. That's all.
Het wordt al snel duidelijk dat de Japanners weinig goede bedoelingen hebben met de inwoners van Birma. En Aung San en zijn kameraden lopen over naar de geallieerden. Daarom moet hij hals over kop Rangoon verlaten.
In 1945, at the beginning of March, I met Aung San in my small village. He was at the time chief of staff of the Burmese army. And one of my uncles is a close comrade of Aung San. He left Rangoon at night and he arrived in our village. At that time I was 15. I had to bring some water to him, bathing water from the well, you see, because he is a guest. So, and then he was bathing.
I understand you saw Aung San naked.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. And after bathing, I asked Aung San that I would like to join the armed military. Then he think about it, then asked me whether I was attending the school and so on. I said, yes, when the school opened again, I will be about 8th student. Then he said, please go on study. So we have a lot of men to fight. We need educated person. So that is a great influence for me, and I refused to join the military, but I studied and I went to university.
Maar op dat moment is de oorlog nog in volle gang. En voor Win Thin's ouders komt de nederlaag van de Japanners te laat. Beiden overlijden in de laatste maanden van de oorlog.
I was still young and I have to pass through the war. I have to support my family and my grandmother and so on, and my sister. And I have to pass through for my education. I have to do it.
Na de oorlog kan Win Thin weer naar school. En hij kan voor het eerst zijn enorme honger naar informatie stillen.
During the Japanese time, all the country was closed, no radio and so on. So after the war, of course, it is free, but at the same time, radio are very expensive, and we have no enough radio. So in our time, for instance, in our small town, we have only about three or four radios for the whole town, see, for thousands of people. So to listen to radio, we have to go to their house. Of course, they are not hospitable enough to us to come in their house and listen. So we have to wait outside and listen all the radio messages and so on.
This is London. Judgment at Nuremberg.
Lord Justice Lawrence pronounced the finding on Goering.
The defendant Goering. Goering is indicted on all 4 counts.
Generaal Aung San is na de oorlog de onbetwiste leider van Birma. Maar voordat hij het land naar zelfstandigheid kan leiden, wordt hij door een politieke tegenstander vermoord. 6 maanden voor de onafhankelijkheid.
As soon as we got the message, of course, people were so shocked, and some of them are condemning the colonial government and so on.
What was your reaction?
Yeah, very, very, very serious reaction, because Aung San was so popular and so on. You see. So everybody was shocked, and so it's very, very, very tragic scene at that time.
In 1947 maakt Win Thin zijn belofte aan generaal Aung San waar en gaat naar Rangoon om te studeren.
I was attending the university just to get the degree, to sit for examination and so on. But actually, what I really intend to become is a journalist. So I went out and to join the journals and newspapers.
In de eerste jaren na de onafhankelijkheid is Birma een chaos. Er heerst een burgeroorlog en werken als journalist is bijna onmogelijk. Win Thin besluit zijn horizon te verbreden en in 1954 solliciteert hij bij Jambatan, een internationaal tijdschrift van een linkse uitgeverij in Amsterdam. What was your ambition to leave your country and go to the Netherlands?
Our country is still poor, so I think it is better to see how the rich country live and how people live there, what the people think there, and so on. So I think it is good to leave the country and have a sort of study there. What I still remember is that Holland is a place of freedom. See, when I go to museums and library and meet with some academic young men, and they think for freedom and freedom for other people too. See. So many want to gather a look at all of Bobby will do it. Bobby will do it.
သူနဲ့ကျွန်တော်လူချင်းကိုကောင်းကောင်းမတွေ့လဲရတော့ကျွန်တော်လည်းဟုတ်တယ်
သူလည်းအလုပ်များကျွန်တော်လည်းအလုပ်များတယ်အဲ့လိုဖြစ်နေတော့ဟုတ်ကဲ့ဟုတ်ကဲ့ပါနော်ဟုတ်ကဲ့ဟုတ်ကဲ့
Yeah.
Who is this man?
So this is a broadcaster in RFE. He wrote a book of poetry, and he asked me to write introduction for that book.
After 3 years in the Netherlands, you come back to Burma. What was your impression?
Well, impression is that you see my country is very static, no movement and no change at all. So that's why I was so disheartened, you see, and I feel sorry for my country, and I determined that I should work for my country more hard and more severe and more strongly. That's why we started a publishing house, the Mera Daily, in 1957, because the country is so poor and no progress at all, no peace at all. So we think that, see, it's time for us to push the countryside people, see. That's why we try very hard to become a people's newspaper and so on.
And
But
did it work?
no, not much, because after 1.5 years, it was closed down, you see, for more than a year. There's a military rulers headed by General Ne Win ruled the country in 1959.
In 1960 worden nog wel vrije verkiezingen georganiseerd, maar 2 jaar later neemt generaal Ne Win definitief de macht over. Het is het begin van 50 jaar militaire dictatuur. When Ne Win did the coup d'état, did you expect that the military was going to rule the country for the next 50 years?
Well, really, of course, we don't know. How many people like freedom and so on. We don't expect they will last for long. But
They did.
they did. And not only that, you see, after we make uprising in 1988, then they rule again, you see, the real military come in. And still they are ruling the country, you see, like Thein Sein and Chiman and so on and so on. Most of them are former military leaders, former generals and so on.
In de jaren 60 verdwijnen regelmatig journalisten in de gevangenis. U Win Tin heeft vaak ruzie met de censor en hij wordt van de hoofdstad Rangoon naar Mandalay overgeplaatst. Toch heeft hij nog belangrijke volgers.
U Ne Win used to come to Mandalay and always he asked me to come to himself and have a talk and so on. See, that's why I was rumored to be that I got some influence with U Ne Win. Actually, it's not. He's a military dictator. So other people always said yes, 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 yes. Like Aung San Suu Kyi now. They always just say yes to Aung San Suu Kyi. That's the problem. For me, you see, I said no.
In 1978 komt er een voorlopig einde aan zijn werk als journalist. Hij wordt ontslagen. Hij werkt als vertaler, reist veel door het land en ziet hoe de militairen, in naam van het socialisme, Birma economisch en sociaal aan de rand van de afgrond brengen. In 1988 barst de bom. Er begint een spontaan volksoproer en al snel is het een totale chaos. De militairen houden zich in eerste instantie afzijdig en een groep intellectuelen en oud-militairen probeert het land van de ondergang te redden. Hun leider is Aung San Suu Kyi. De dochter van Aung San vraagt U Win Tin om mee te helpen. En zo wordt hij sleutelfiguur in de National League for Democracy. Did you have political ambitions at the time?
No, not at all. I joined the uprising as an ordinary person. Even Aung San Suu Kyi was not known, you see, to the people.
So most of you were newcomers in politics?
Newcomers, yes. Newcomers in politics.
Als blijkt dat het volk zich massaal achter Aung San Suu Kyi en de NLD schaart, vinden de generaals het genoeg en ze grijpen weer de macht. In reactie daarop wil U Win Tin een campagne van burgerlijke ongehoorzaamheid beginnen. Maar voordat het zover komt, wordt hij gearresteerd.
As soon as I was in jail, the very first night, I was called by the military intelligence. I made shouting and so on, argument. I refused to go along with them. But you see, inside the prison, there is a department of military intelligence, and they said that I can't help, I cannot refuse, and you must go that way, because everybody has to go that way, see. Like everybody, I was called up and without sleep and without eating for 5 nights and 6 days. My face was hooded, and there are some, you see, such spotlight and so on. Then if they ask me questions and so on, without, you see, when they don't like the answer, somebody come and blow me up and so on. See. So after some, the torture start again and again and again, see. So after a year, nearly after 4 or 5 months, I was, all my tooth were gone. So that was in 1990. So you live behind the bars and you have to eat hard rice and so on. How to make you are chewing without any teeth is impossible. Every 2 weeks, I meet my family and they give cakes and fried chicken and so on and so forth. As soon as I arrive in my room, I give to all my friends. I never keep any edible things for myself, because I don't want to be a weak man, you see. I don't want to keep only something to eat this time and that time and so on. I don't mind. I will take, although it's very bad meals were given to us by the prison, I took it and I eat it. That is the way I live for years and years.
In 1990 organiseert de militaire junta nog wel vrije verkiezingen. Ze worden overtuigend door de NLD gewonnen. U Win Tin hoort het nieuws van de overwinning in de gevangenis.
Of course, we were happy because NLD become a government, and then if our party become a government, of course every political prisoner would be released.
But it didn't happen.
No, they didn't.
In plaats daarvan begint een lange periode van keiharde onderdrukking en Aung San Suu Kyi wordt onder huisarrest geplaatst. When did you become suspicious? This victory is not enough to change the country.
Oh, I was suspicious all the time, you see, all the time. I have no trust in the military and group.
Do you say Aung San Suu Kyi was politically naive at that time?
No, not naive, but she is too optimistic, because she trusts too much on the military. Up to now, see.
En zo gaat Birma, inmiddels door de junta omgedoopt in Myanmar, de 21ste eeuw in als een van de ergste dictaturen ter wereld. De cellen zitten vol met politieke gevangenen en er wordt op grote schaal gemarteld. The people that did these tortures, do you consider them maniacs, or were they just officials doing their job, or?
You cannot see everybody is in maniac or so. No, some of them are normal people like us, but they do their duty and so on. That's why very recently I met Kenyo and he said, please uncle, please forget, please leave behind everything.
He was responsible for your torture?
He himself is not doing the torture, but his man made such a thing. Thousands of people suffer the same situation. Many political prisoners die inside the jail. How can you forgive these kind of people? This is my last book.
What is this book
It's
about?
Prison life. And some of the pictures with Thomas Santry and myself in 1988. And this is a picture done by American congressman in 1995.
In 2008 wordt U Win Tin om gezondheidsredenen vrijgelaten. Maar zijn vrijlating betekent nog geen einde van de dictatuur. Toch weigert Win Tin Myanmar te ontvluchten. In plaats daarvan ontmoet hij regelmatig buitenlandse journalisten en start zomer 2010 een sit-down actie om Aung San Suu Kyi vrij te krijgen. Het tij lijkt te keren Een paar maanden later wordt Suu Kyi vrijgelaten. Na 25 jaar kan U Win Tin haar eindelijk weer de hand schudden.
Only the leaders group are allowed to go inside her house. Then she said she must greet also to the people outside. Such a moment. This is not owned by us. So this is not a personal period. So we behave as if we are attending the meeting or as normal as possible, you see. So there's no special thing, no special moment.
De vrijlating van Aung San Suu Kyi is het begin van een reeks dramatische veranderingen. Begin 2012 worden de meeste politieke gevangenen vrijgelaten. De censuur wordt opgeschort en in april doet de NLD mee aan tussentijdse verkiezingen. Suu Kyi's partij haalt een klinkende overwinning.
What I saw in the streets was the opportunity to win the elections. Everybody was feeling freedom.
Yes. Even in the party too, they have the same kind of mentality, you see. But the thing is, military never, you see, to release their grip on the country. They are no democrats. They are dictators, and I have no really faith at all. Up to now, they are turned over to civilian clothes. That's all. How can you get genuine democratic results? It is given by dictators.
Is the final objective for the coming 25 years democracy, or is it the welfare of the people?
What we are striving for is democratic society. That means people are democratic, you see, general people. They will be educated or they will have politically conscious and democratically conscious and so on. Of course, Aung San Suu Kyi is a great potential for democratic leader and so on. But she is too old now. We don't know how we will develop new leaders who are really democratic and so on.
Uncle, 3 years. 3 years, do you have young one? But the video that he
Can you die, or are you still needed?
In Burma, we don't believe in God, but we believe in next life. For any religious person, if you ask, of course, he will say that, oh, I don't mind. If I die, of course, I will be with next life, or maybe I will be reborn again, and that new life, I will be democrat, and I will work as a democratic person and so on. I don't believe, of course, but anyhow, you see, I believe that whatever I should do in this life, I should do. If I do it, you see, enough, I think that will help. That will contribute for the new society and new life.
It would be good if you continue working for democracy in the next life.
Of course, I will be happy in the next life to be a democratic and a free man and maybe even a journalist. I will be happy. But that is another thing, you see.
Luister ook naar onze uitzendingen op Radio 5. Iedere dinsdagavond talkshow Oba Live en Hemelsbreed. Ga voor meer informatie naar onze website www.bosrtv.nl.